Hello, it's brilliant to have you with us for the best of the Vanarama National League. We're not too far away from this season's climax. Amazingly, there are only 3 months remaining. Going into Matchday 30, Leyton Orient were only a couple of points ahead of Salford City, who had a dismal December. We start with Justin Edinburgh's leaders, who took on a rejuvenated Ebbsfleet United. The hosts once again have the playoffs in sight. Fleet had won their previous 5 at the Cufflink Stadium. Midway through the first half, the O's had numerous opportunities to clear the danger from an Ebbsfleet corner. Eventually the ball fell to Jack King and the ex-Preston North End player rifled into the net 1-0 to Gary Hill's men. Orient sought to respond before the break. Macaulay Bonn was assisted from out wide, but the visitors' top scorer was denied brilliantly by Nathan Ashmore. Past the hour mark, a sensational free kick from Chris Bush made it 2-0 for him. It's a third of the campaign. Orient still had more than 25 minutes in Kent to get amongst the points. On the other side of shaky defending, they were unable to capitalise through Jamie Turley, who hit the post. And when it was finally possible to find a way past the dedicated Ashmore, a Josh Koroma shot was agonisingly cleared off the line by Laurie Wilson. Ebbsfleet have lost only 1 of their last 14.
To get a clean sheet is tremendous for the club. Great support here today, and I think I've seen another side collectively of the squad today, really, as I've just said in there, the desire and the character of this playing squad at the club now is certainly going in the right direction.
Steve Watson surprised everyone by quitting his local club, dropping down a division and becoming York City's new manager, with the North Yorkshire outfit 17th in the National League South going into the weekend. Gateshead was Watson's first job in management, and he departed with the Heat just a point outside the playoff places. Reserve team coach Ben Clark replaced Watson in the dugout as the club travelled to second place Salford City. And they could have opened the scoring had Scott Bowden's effort hit the target. Instead, life without Watson began badly for the visitors. Goalkeeper Ainsley Pears bringing down Matt Green. And just before the half-hour mark, Danny Lloyd dispatched the penalty to continue Salford's run of scoring in every home league game this season. But the lead didn't make it to half-time. Robbie Tinkler helping Bowden reach double figures for the campaign and ultimately slightly denting Salford's promotion charge.
This is what happens if you don't either respect the game or respect the opponent enough, and you think that you might be able to just drop 5% off and get through the game. That's what happens. And the disappointing thing for me and the players is it's not the first time it's happened at home. So that's an issue that we have to fix, and we have to fix it right now.
Maidenhead United and Solihull Moors went into their clash on the back of consecutive wins and were both unbeaten in their previous 3. Alan Devonshire's team was surely left wondering how they didn't open the scoring inside the opening 25 minutes. Alan Massey smashed the inside of a post, and in the follow-up move, the ball was eventually squared to Adrian Clifton, who blazed well over at York Road. Just moments later at the other end, a Moors set-piece found Liam Daly, who poked through a crowd of bodies and into the net, a fitting way to mark signing a new contract on Thursday. Maidenhead came 12th in the National League last season, which was their first ever in the 5th tier, and following a failed appeal, a penalty for the hosts was awarded by referee Lloyd Wood. This time, no contact with the woodwork as Clifton dispatched, scoring for the 4th time in 5 matches. Solihull were then to hit the frame of the goal themselves with 25 minutes to go. Jamie Osborne with the cutback, Jermaine Hilton failing to convert. Osborne's in his 2nd spell with Moors and was once again involved in attack deep into added time in Berkshire. His effort was spilt by Carl Pentney, and following up Adi Youssef, Solihull's 3rd win in succession means they're now joint top of the table with Leyton Orient.
After a positive start to the campaign, Wrexham have struggled of late, losing their previous 4 matches in all competitions and without a win in 2019. And that form carried into the trip to AFC FYLDE, who sat 3 points behind them in the playoff positions. Ashley Hemmings with his first goal for FYLDE this season, rifling in just before half-time to give the hosts the advantage. And Hemmings was on hand again to put away his second early in the second half. FYLDE moving above their opponents in the table on goal difference, and next up for Dave Challoner's men, a trip to Solihull Moors.
It sets everything up nicely for next week's game. Like I say, another really big ask, but a game that we're looking forward to. To pick 3 points up here is massive, and we'll take that into next weekend. And like I said, we'd spoken that the table could look a whole lot different after these 2 games. Hopefully it can look a whole lot better for us at 5 o'clock next Saturday.
Sutton United may have occupied a playoff spot, but their last 5 visits south to the Silver Lake Stadium had all ended in defeats. It took only 10 minutes for Eastleigh to assert their authority. A Mark Yates corner caused chaos, ending with Andrew Boyce bundling home, scoring for the first time for the Spitfires. Right on half-time in Hampshire, Gimme Torre got in behind, and after rounding keeper Luke Southwood effectively tackled Redder Johnson to score for Sutton for the first time, 1-1. After the hour mark, the home team got back in front through their right-back. The quick Josh Hare somehow found a way past Ross Warner in the visitors' net. But moments later, Harry Beautyman was afforded way too much time in a dangerous position. He gratefully teed up Brett Williams. The Torquay loanee scored 2 goals now for his temporary club. A Williams son was to have the final say of the clash. The effective Hare looked to the Sutton box early, allowing Ben Williamson to score the winner with a 6th goal of the campaign. Eastleigh's 6th successive victory at home to Paul Doswell's men means they're now only 3 points away from the playoffs.
Richard Money's Hartlepool side made the 60-mile trip south to face Harrogate Town, who are without a win in 5. The blistering early season form of the Yorkshire side is a thing of the past, with just 9 points out of the last 27 available, though they still retain hopes of finishing in the playoff positions. Watching this for us were Adam Virgo and Adam Somerton.
Cassidy has it taken off him by a determined Volkingham, who is the Harrogate captain. It's been given away here, and it's Thompson on the ball. Thompson might want it back again here. He did get it back again, but just couldn't quite organise his feet. There's still a chance, though, and it's in! What a start for Harrogate! It's Kerry who's got it.
George Thompson's alive on the front foot. They certainly get a little bit of luck with the deflections that go left and right, but it's just a positivity. And when Lloyd Kerry gets in that position, it's about hitting the target with power, and he does that with his strike really, really well. They don't defend their lines well. Really, really well taken goal.
Awkward one for the Hartlepool goalkeeper, but he just about dealt with it as Emmett plays it wide again here for Thompson. Looking to hit the byline, and does, and stands up a good cross. And it's going to be... Well, he's given a penalty, much to the bemusement here of the Hartlepool captain, Matchday. Well, he's certainly got a big chunk of the shirt. It's George Thompson to take it, 5 league goals this season. Well, he's not going to get a 6th. A brilliant save there by Scott Lokes. I just wonder how big a moment that could be in the game. Featherstone. That's loose, and it's been seized upon here by Thompson. He's got Emmett getting forward. He's got Beck in support as well. Thompson goes alone, and it just didn't call at full there for Beck, having been pushed out by Lokes. They won it back again. Oh, what a hit! What a hit from Muldoon! You don't stop those! He's hammered it home for Harrogate!
It's a great first save there, but I have no idea what Featherstone's trying to do. You can't afford to turn in your area like that. And it falls to Jack Muldoon. Unbelievable strike there. Good save from Scott Loach. But you can't afford to dwell in that area. Take that.
Mark Kitching, former Middlesbrough youngster, in possession here for Hartlepool. Stood up a good cross, and Kabamba's there. Can he find the target? He can! A debut goal for Nicky Kabamba. And Hartlepool here are back in business. How they needed that, Richard Money's side.
Creates his own luck there, Nicky Kabamba, by attacking that far post. It's a brilliantly flighted ball up. Does well there to react. Very, very well. Gets himself a debut goal.
Looking to go on the outside. He's just managed to keep that in. And Beck! What a great header! Towering header from Mark Beck. And Harrogate restore their 2-goal advantage.
Well, he's deserved this goal, Mark Beck, for his afternoon's work. Poor defending down the right-hand side. When Anderson jumps into him, he just uses him to leap above him. Heads it back across, in off the underside of the bar. That is a massive, massive goal in the context of this game.
We've got a clear identity, a way of playing. I'd like to think we show we're an attractive football team today, and with the legs and energy and desire around it, then it's appealing to the local Harrogate public, and it's grown somewhat in the last 2 years, and hopefully it'll continue to do so.
We know that we've got a lot of work to get this group, that includes 3-4 new players, to gel as quick as we can. But I don't think anyone who was at the game today would say anything different. We were second best to a very good team who performed extremely well on the day.
We was on our knees when they came in.
American owners buying a near London club. Great news.
It saved us, and they've got a feel-good factor back around the club as well.
We have something that we feel like we can impact from the ground up.
With Dagenham falling on hard times financially, Peter Freund, who is our principal owner, he just said to me, this is a no-brainer. We've got to get in there and revitalize it.
What we saw here was an opportunity to come over and take some of our savvy that we think we have in the United States and apply it here.
This was something I think we saw that we could come in and, like, as Peter said, make an impact. We could do some things, and that's what we're excited about, is to kind of walk around here every time we're here, talk to the supporters, and take action on the things that, can help us on the pitch and around the grounds. Tim first got involved with us in Memphis with the soccer team there, and then this opportunity, sort of popped up on us, and it was sort of a natural to bring him, in on it.
I've been back home in the States playing for a couple of years now, and my time playing is soon to come to an end, and I want to do other things. And ownership is something that I thought would be something I'd enjoy. Would be something difficult, of course, but I didn't really know how I would get into that. I met Peter. We've hit it off from day one. We have a lot of the same visions, and I have so much experience in the game that for me it's a no-brainer to kind of give back and use some of that to help cultivate a football club.
Had your paths crossed before?
Not until about a year and a half ago. Obviously, he owns the baseball team there in Memphis, and I live in Memphis. That's my home. And so by mutual friends, we were put together and we chatted, and the rest is history.
Our priority is to get this club back to the English Football League, and if we have that supporter base and we have a London location and we have a beautiful ground, really the sky's the limit on what we can do.
From my end, where I sit with our ownership group, it's about working with Peter Taylor, who's a brilliant manager who I've known for years, working with him to see how we can best facilitate the squad to push us up the table. That's what any football club up and down the country wants, is to win football matches. Nothing will be built overnight, we know that, but with the right amount of investment and right amount of commitment, most importantly, we see things turning.
Dagenham headed southeast on Saturday to face Maidstone United. The struggling Stones had already lost at home this week 4-2 against Maidenhead. 20 minutes in at the Gallagher Stadium, Peter Taylor's side pushed for the opener. The unmarked Angelo Balanta made the most of ample time in the home team's box, setting up Nathan Smith, who was playing for the Daggers for only the second time. With almost a quarter of an hour remaining, Lamar Reynolds released Connor Wilkinson, and at the end of a sprint into the area, he also got the better of Ethan Ross 2-0. It was proving to be that easy for Dagenham, and Lamar, provider turned scorer in added time, adding gloss to a comfortable victory. Tim Howard's lot have lost only 2 of their last 11, of which they've won 7.
that is a game that proves why we are where we are. That's probably one of the best we've played all season, to be perfectly honest, over the whole of the game, but we lose 3-0. And I said in there, I can't criticise, I can't be critical of any player's attitude, any player's desire, any player's willing to do what we ask them to do. But the harsh reality is that is a result that proves why we are where we are.
Mid-table Boreham Wood met relegation-threatened Haverton Waterlooville at Meadow Park, which less than 48 hours earlier had hosted an FA Youth Cup tie between Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur. It was more or less around the same time that Matt Patterson had returned to the club after a short spell at Welling, and it took the Scottish forward less than 9 minutes to reopen his account, tapping home a cross from debutant Jack James. Havant had arrived without a win in their previous 11 away matches, yet found themselves 2 up after a quarter of an hour. Andy Robinson with a free kick to leave Boreham Wood wondering what had hit them. It took until midway through the second half for the hosts to respond. 19-year-old Idris Kanu in the right place to find the net in successive league games after joining on loan from Peterborough. But despite their mid-table position, the Wood had won only 2 of their previous 12 matches, and in the 90th minute conceded a penalty when Alfie Rutherford was brought down by George Legg. Goalkeeper Legg saved Rutherford's spot kick, but Hassan Jallow followed up to seal a vital 3 points for the Hawks and move them away from the danger zone.
Sitting in the lower half of the National League, Barnet were at the side that sat bottom. Braintree Town had lost their previous 5 matches at Cressing Road. The visiting Bees were up against it right from the start, however, as keeper Mark Cousins fouled Callum Morton. A penalty was given, and an early red card shown by referee Carl Brook. West Brom loanee Morton beat Rihards Matrovics, who was suddenly in goal, making his professional debut. What was Morton's 19th birthday was turning out to be an enjoyable occasion. After dispossessing Dan Sweeney past the hour mark, the striker then sweetly struck his second, making it 2-0 to Braintree. Half an hour later, after Barnet had attempted to regroup at the interval, Hackenhay Retton's men were awarded another spot kick due to a foul by Craig Robson. It was Morton who took it and bagged, completing his hat-trick and making it 4 for the campaign. To their credit, Darren Curry's side pushed for a goal in the final 10, but this was exploited as debutant Iffy Allen wrapped up a memorable victory against his old team. But Braintree won't be able to saviour a 4-0 win for long. They're still a significant 9 points away from safety.
Very tough day. Didn't help ourselves, didn't deserve nothing out of the game. I've given these boys a lot of credit of late. Since I've taken over, they've been excellent for me. They've made some brilliant decisions on the pitch, individually, collectively. But today, our decision making was pathetic.
A First League match for New Chesterfield boss John Sheridan after returning to the club he had first managed between 2009 and 2012. A minute before half-time, Will Evans headed in a Curtis Weston corner to provide Sheridan a positive start to National League football. And his new side sealed a deserved victory 12 minutes from time. Marc-Antoine Fortuné's shot saved, but defender Evans completed his brace to seal just a second away win of the season. For Aldershot, a club record 10 matches without a win.
These two faced one another on the opening day of the season and generally haven't been beaten of late. Both Dover Athletic and Bromley were undefeated in 4. Inside the opening half an hour at Crabble, the visitors' George Porter was denied by the woodwork. Then at the other end, a Mitch Brundle free kick, headed in by Kevin Locko. With 5 goals, this campaign is the best of his career. Back around the Dover box, another set piece minutes before the interval. Mitch Walker stopped the initial danger, but Adam Meckie followed up against his former employers. On the other side of the break, an Athletic corner made its way to Ini Effiong. His attempt at goal crashed off the bar. Last season, Dover only missed out on the playoffs by goal difference. Just past the hour mark came a brawl inside the Bromley area. In the middle of it, Neil Smith's captain Jack Holland ended up on the floor. This brought about a red card from referee Adrian Quelch for Bedsente Gomis, and also for Dover's goal scorer Loco. For half an hour, the home team played with 9 men, but still secured a point. Dover and Bromley now haven't lost for 5 games.
Looking at the footage already quickly, he may have got one right, but the other one, I don't know where they get that right, because it's Kevin Loco's not done anything wrong. But the fourth official's got Kevin Loco sent off, so he's got the same view as us on the line. So I'm miffed by it, to be honest.
Barrow boss Ian Evatt was named National League Manager of the Month for December, but the club's run of 8 without defeat had come to an end at Haverton Waterlooville last time out. This time round they welcomed Halifax, the visitors enjoying their best league unbeaten run of the season. And the West Yorkshire side were unlucky not to pick up the 3 points. First, Scott Quigley was denied by Joel Dixon, before the Barrow keeper was beaten by Matty Coslow's dinked finish, only for the forward to see the goal disallowed for offside. In the end, a goalless draw, and the 3rd time this year that both these teams have failed to find the net.
Barnet will hope their 4 games in hand will provide plenty opportunity to be a part of the playoff picture over the course of the next few weeks. Chesterfield, meanwhile, are now only a couple of points away from leapfrogging Maidenhead out of the bottom 4, and Dagenham and Redbridge's season goes from strength to strength. They're now looking up the table. 16 games to go. Solihull Moors are without doubt the story of the season so far. They're joint top in spite of having one of the smallest budgets in the division. It's fair to say everyone in the top 7 are right in this title race.
A meeting between 2 of the top 3 whet the appetite in the National League South as Torquay United travelled to Bath City in what proved to be an entertaining West Country derby. Torquay were on an excellent run of 10 straight victories that saw them clear at the top of the division, yet it was the visitors who took the lead in the first 10 minutes, Freddie Hines lashing home via the crossbar for his first goal for the club. However, the in-form visitors equalised before half-time. A corner from Jake Andrews, headed in by Asa Hall, the first goal conceded by the Romans after 5 straight clean sheets. And a couple of minutes after the hour mark, the goals were in front. Another corner from the Bath-born Andrews, with Jamie Reid the man to benefit this time. The Devon side were now in control and looked to extend their unbeaten run to 17 after Leon Davis tripped the busy Andrews. But the 21-year-old, on loan from Bristol City, blazed his spot kick over the bar. The hosts took advantage in a dramatic finish to the contest. With less than 10 minutes left, a clumsy challenge by Hall on substitute Ryan Brunt brought another penalty. Bath captain Anthony Straker stepped up to dispatch the equaliser. And the Grenada international continued the late drama, providing the ball across for Brunt to finish and turn the game on its head. A memorable victory for Bath in front of their biggest crowd in 40 years.
I've been around a little while now, and you'll get these hiccups, icebergs I call them. The lads have done great up till today, but today they rested on their laurels and they thought they only needed to, despite us telling them if they didn't play well, we can get beat here.
Our target's the playoffs, I've got to be honest, and that's been our target and our aim from the start of the season. What we are doing is putting ourselves in a really good position. I guess the biggest thing it does is gives the players confidence to say these are top of the league by merit, and they're a very, very good side, but we've beaten them today, and we'll take that going forward.
Woking could have found themselves top of National League South, but they were held to a 1-1 draw at St Albans. Billericay Town welcomed back Harry Wheeler as manager, and his second stint as boss started with a 2-2 draw with Concord Rangers. Leaders in the north, Chorley, extended their undefeated run to 6 matches after a 3-0 win over 18th placed Guiseley. And Steve Watson's first game in charge of York City didn't go to plan. Second in the division, Stockport County beat the Minster men 3-1 at Edgeley Park to make it 5 wins on the spin. We've got an immense few days coming up in the 4th round of the FA Cup. There are 4 matches live on BT Sport. After getting by Southampton, Frank Lampard's Derby County go to Lancashire to face Andy Mangan and Accrington Stanley of League One. That all starts from midday on Saturday. Later that day, another side from the 3rd tier are in action. AFC Wimbledon host the Premier League's West Ham. Tune in from 7 p.m. There's then a London derby on Sunday for a spot in round 5. Crystal Palace host last season's semi-finalist Tottenham Hotspur. Obviously no Harry Kane for Spurs. Coverage of this begins from 3:30. Then on Monday, one of our own teams from the National League are in front of the cameras. Barnet will need to see off Championship opposition in the form of Brentford to progress to the 5th round. Tune in from 7 p.m. All 4 games are on BT Sport 2 HD and on our 4K UHD channel. That's it from BT Sport's National League team. After a weekend of upsets, we can surely count on a terrific ride between now and April. See you next time.